All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all glory, and all honors unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. This is the priest Zion from GMS Atlanta with another update on the mark of the beast, which is the microchip implant. Today's date is October the 7th, 2019, the year of Karagma. And this is what I'm getting ready to go into, okay? Like I said, which is the microchip implant, which is the mark of the beast. I have an article here from BBC News. And this headline, the transhumanists who are upgrading their bodies, okay? So you have a lot more people out here that are using these microchip implants to push this transhumanism or changing themselves into so-called cyborgs, and they're pushing it as as basically a rite of passage, so to speak, for the so-called next step in human evolution. Okay, and this is what Esau is trying to push on the world, that technology is the answer to all the issues, you know, especially when it comes to the issues of what they call the human condition. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right into it now. It says Winter Raz says she loves having her keys in her hand, but she does not mean holding them. She has actually had her door key implanted into her left hand in the form of a microchip. Okay, it says here, in her right hand, she has had another microchip implant that acts as her business card, but could also be used to store important medical information for use in the case of an emergency. Okay, so you can get multiple implants in whatever part of the body you deem fit, and that's what the scriptures are speaking about. It's not a joke. It's not a game. It's not something that we're just, making up. These are actual articles. It's actually people out here that are getting themselves implanted with these microchips, and it's mainly Esau. All right, it's mainly these Edomites, because they believe that this is, the next step to advance themselves. And you got to understand this too, that these Edomites are carnal, okay? They're not spiritual, okay? As far as righteousness is concerned, they're carnal. Everything that they do is sensual, okay? Pertains to the flesh, their own lust. And that's how they think, if they can't get money out of it, or if it doesn't benefit them for the immediate moment, then they don't get involved with it too much. And that was how Esau was in the scriptures. Okay? When you go back to the story of Jacob and Esau, Esau sold his birthright because he was hungry. He was starving because he didn't catch anything while hunting. Okay? He wasn't being spiritual. He sold his birthright, a spiritual inheritance, for a morsel of meat, okay? For pottage, all right? For something to eat, because he was worried about his flesh and what he wanted and what he had lusted after for the moment. So this is how Esau thinks. He cares about the moment. That's why you have a YOLO. You only live once. Even when you go into the scriptures and the Apocrypha, in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, the mindset and the mind state of the ungodly or the wicked, which is these Edomites, their whole mindset is to basically fill themselves with whatever they lust after. Okay? So this is how and why this microchip implant is going to be pushed so hard real soon and eventually made mandatory around the world. Okay, even here in London, okay, where you have the BBC's base. Now this is from BBC's Scotland's The Nine, which is the UK. All right, BBC is all over the UK, or Europe rather. But these Edomites, they see this as a good thing to get these implants. Okay. So I'm gonna keep reading down. Now it says, in her right hand, she has had another microchip implant that acts as her business card, but could also be used to store important medical information for use in the case of an emergency. And it's not hard. And I'm going to read the scripture, okay? I want to keep this short and straight to the point. When you read the scripture, okay, the prophecy of the mark of the beast is pretty clear, okay? Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, all people, poor people, rich people, free people, people in bondage in prison, okay, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That mark is this microchip implant. Because of the capabilities, the applications, and the uses that is going to be so convenient for the people to use. You know, you have smartwatches, you got smartphones, smart TVs, you got smart toothbrushes, smart spoons and forks. I went into Best Buy earlier today, and they have, refrigerators with Bluetooth and screens, and you can listen to Pandora, on your refrigerator. Okay, technology is Esau's claim to fame. The reason why Esau is so powerful in the earth is because of his technology. Weapons, all right, now his blessing was a sword, okay? A sword is a what? That is a form of technology, okay? And the sword is getting more and more advanced every day. I mean, it went from the hydrogen bomb, and now in the last few years, you have the hypersonic intercontinental ballistic missile, which Russia and all these different countries are developing. So Esau's technology, which are his miracles, and that's here in Revelation 13 and the 14th verse, those are the things that Esau is mesmerizing the world by. Okay? So now I'm going to go back to the article. And I'm going to just keep reading. Now it says, the 31-year-old engineer also has a magnet in one finger that allows her to sense electromagnetic fields, which she says helps her in her work. But not all her body upgrades are practical. Her latest procedure is to have 2 LED implants that turn on when a magnet is passed above them, illuminating her skin from inside. Why? Because they are sparkly and I'm a magpie, she says. I like things that light up. Esau's just a fool, man. That's just folly. But this is Esau's claim to his kingdom, because his technology is more advanced than these other nations. So he's been ruling over these other nations by the threat of war, and mainly war through the different advancements that they made, splitting the atom, developing bombs, new ways to genetically modify food. Okay? And that's all a part of Esau's blessing. Now it says, Winter is one of a growing number of people who call themselves transhumanists. It is the belief that the humans can improve beyond their physical and mental limitations and upgrade their bodies by incorporating technology. And this is how Esau thinks, man. All right, the wicked. The wicked don't move off of the spirit, okay? They move off of the flesh. So if they can upgrade their bodies in any way artificially, then that's how they're going to move, man. And it's not hard to see why this microchip implant is going to revolutionize the world soon. Okay? Let's see here. Now it says for Winter, her first cyber enhancements were not voluntary. They were through the hospital after a serious car crash in the United States that fractured her back, both her ankles, and her knees. Her back was bolted together by surgeons, and one of her kneecaps was replaced with one that was 3D printed on the NHS. She says, if it was not for my cybernetic kneecap, I would not be able to walk, she told BBC Scotland's The Nine. After her accident, she moved on to voluntary personal modifications, such as the microchips in her hands. Okay, in her hands. So now let me go to the scriptures, and let's go to Revelation. I believe it's the 20th chapter. Yep. And 4. It says, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them. And this is speaking about the elect. It says, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years. Okay? So the ones of us that don't choose to take this mark of the beast and worship Esau through his New World Order, okay, but they want to behead us. But these people, they're going to get the mark of the beast in their hands. Okay? And this is what it's saying here in this article, man. The Spirit of the Lord is being poured out right now. And, you know, it's imperative that you pray to Yahweh Shai for you to be able to see what we're talking about. If you're so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, then you're an Israelite. And if your father's line goes back to any of those people, then you're an Israelite, and you can be saved. Only you, if you're an Israelite. The rest of these people, these Edom, you know, it don't matter if they take the mark of the beast, okay? But the message is that we're supposed to go out here and prophesy to Israel not to take the mark of the beast, not be ignorant on it, not be lax in teaching it, and slacking our studying and understanding on what is going on here, okay? People are getting these microchips in their hands, okay? And soon it's going to be made mandatory, right? And you can see from the image here, it says the chip is usually implanted in the back of the hand. I can't make it any more clear, okay? You know, it says the RFID chip in her hand, in her left hand, works on the lock in her house door in the same way as many workplace security cars operate. This means she does not have to carry keys and keeps her hand free for her walking cane. Okay, it says the NFC chip in her right hand has many potential uses. It is the same type of chip that allows phones and tablets to easily share data with each other. And it's also that same chip when you go to the store and you tap your smartphone on the credit card reader or the chip card reader, that reader is communicating with the NFC chip in your smartphone, okay, to take money out of your account, because you usually, put your debit card on your smartphone for convenience and you just tap your phone. Well, that's the same thing that people are going to be doing in the future to buy and sell. Okay, I'm gonna read that scripture. Okay, going back to Revelation, the 13th chapter. All right, you got to be and that's why it says at the end of this chapter, it says here is wisdom. So now it says Revelation 13 and 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. Why? Because the microchip is going to be able to communicate with the different chip card readers at these different stores. Okay, it says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and that man is Esau, Edom. Okay, all right, also known as the so-called white race. These people, okay, Their government leaders, their rulers, whether it's behind the scenes or in public office, they're going to push this microchip all over the world. All right. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 six, and that's the vibration he moves off of, man. Okay. And now listen to this hypocrite here. It says, Winter says, I think saying that you should not alter your body and you should not change your body is a very oblivious way to go about living. People who are disabled don't have that choice. It is made for us. Well, and they're also going to make that microchip mandatory. It's going to be made for you, because either you take the chip or they deem you a terrorist in the future. Okay? Because they don't know who you are. Now it says, how far would you go for a body upgrade? It says Stephen Ryall, a 26-year-old technical operator from Manchester, says he wants to have chips implanted to make smart hands. We have smart TVs, smartphones, everything is smart, he says. Why can't I be smart? I guess the man doesn't consider his brain, you know. But like I said, you know, these stupid Edomites think, man. Okay? All right? The scripture says that Esau's a fool. So, yeah, he's stupid. All right? So now I'm going to read this down here. It says, Stephen says the chip is essentially like those in a contactless bank card. I can get an RFID or NFC reader and hook it up to a chip that I program and then get that chip to recognize the chip in my hand and do whatever I want, he says. Stephen is an evangelist for humans upgrading themselves, but he can understand why people might think it is an extreme thing to do. Okay? So he said, so it's exactly like I was saying. It's the same chip that they put in your phone, that's what they're going to put in your hand. You know? People are already using the technology. Okay? But the mark itself is the microchip. That's what's going to mark everybody as a part of this system. Not a handheld device, but the device in their hand. Okay? It says, he says friends and family think it is weird and kooky, but he believes that in the next 5 years they will start getting into it too. And that's because it's going to be made mandatory, man. Okay? Let's see here. Now it says, Stephen says he can easily see a time when companies are asking the employees to have implants, and they're already doing that. Okay, here in Wisconsin, all right, 3 Square Market, which is a company, had already started to microchip volunteer employees for access to buying and selling things at their offices. So how much more these other businesses? Okay. It says, I think that it says, Stephen says he can easily see a time when companies are asking employees to have implants for security ID to access building or computer networks. You know, I think that people would see it as an extreme thing because they are looking from a historical perspective. They are not looking forward, he says. So this is mainly the point. So now let me read this before I end it. All right, now it says the Scottish government told BBC Scotland's The Nine, right? The Scottish government, so now you have the government, they're going to start regulating how these microchips, you know, whether they're safe and all of that. And then they're going to push it. It says the Scottish government told BBC Scotland's The Nine it intended to regulate procedures carried out by non-healthcare professionals, and it was consulting on how this could be done. So how hard is it to see this prophecy coming to pass? Okay. in Revelation 13. Okay, the beast, which is the system, because the UK and America are all a part of the beast, all a part of NATO. Okay, so it's not hard to see as more and more people start getting microchip, and they start seeing more and more convenient ways to use the microchip implant, then they're gonna step in and regulate what can be done. How to get things done, and they're gonna make it mandatory for buying and selling, because once this economy collapses, they're gonna need a new financial system. And what better way to not only get your already digital money out to the people, but even control the people by using the microchip that they're already implanting within themselves. So you can see, if you're in the spirit, then you can see how this picture is coming together. Okay? It says a spokesman said it was looking at the most proportionate and appropriate measures, and the government's priority was the safety of those involved. So the governments are going to start regulating and pushing these microchips soon. The only thing that's needed now is a situation, all right, the right situation and the right catalyst to make that happen. All right, so with that, I'm going to end it there. I hope this is edifying through the spirit. All praise and glory and honor goes into Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect.